Hello everyone, my name's Cliff and welcome back to my channel. This is Cliff's Dark Gems. Today we're going to be doing a tag inspired by one of the greatest rock bands to ever come out of England. No, one of the greatest rock bands to ever come out of planet Earth. That is the Led Zeppelin tag. Stay tuned. This tag was originally created by a bookish drummer, and I was tagged by Pat Smithos. Be sure to go check out his channel. It's very new, but it's a seriously awesome channel. Now everyone, before we start the prompts for this tag, Led Zeppelin were an awesome rock band. I was heavily influenced by blues and by folk, and between the face-melting Jimmy Page guitar solos and Robert Plant's awesome voice, in fact I don't think there's ever a singer that can match him, this makes it one of my favourite bands, and I'm really looking forward to this tag. Now the prompts from this tag are basically 9 prompts, and they're taken from the first album, which was simply entitled Led Zeppelin 1. Let's go. Okay everyone, the first prompt says, good times, bad times. Name an author you've read a great book and a bad book from. Okay, for me that's easy, that's Anne Rice. The Interview of a Vampire is one of my favourite horror vampire novels. In fact, that whole trilogy with the Vampire Lestat and Queen of the Damned was an awesome first part in the whole series. One book I never got into was her Witches, and I think it's called, The Witching Hour. It's a tale of the Mayfair witches. I never got into that. I found that was over wordy. I found it a little bit dull, almost written like a historical novel. But you know, as for a lot of books that you don't enjoy, maybe if I read it now, because I tried reading it as a teenager, it might be slightly better. So let's just see. Maybe I'll give her another try. That's Anne Rice. Alrighty then. The second prompt we got is Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You. That's actually one of my favourite songs on the album. And it's name an author you've outgrown or have no desire to read anymore. Now, this is also quite an easy one. If I look back in my teens, I used to love high fantasy. And you got someone like David Eddings and Terry Goodkind. And yeah, I've outgrown those novels and those fantasy series. I think they're just a little bit too cliche fantasy for me. If I was going to read more fantasy now, I'd definitely tackle Game of Thrones or some fantasy like that. That's a little bit more edgy. So yeah, that's my answer to that prompt. Third prompt is You Shook Me. Name a book that shocked you with something unexpected. Now this really did kick me in the guts. I'm not really a huge Dean Koontz fan. I think most of his supernatural or most of his thriller suspense novels fall flat for me. They're kind of formulaic. But one novel that really surprised me was Intensity by Dean Koontz. Definitely the best novel of his that I've read. And it's a kind of a horror stroke thriller, and there is a massive shock at the end that really gets you every time. So that's Dean Koontz, Intensity. And the fourth prompt is Dazed and Confused. Name a book or author you don't understand the hype for. Now this is going to be a seriously unpopular opinion. Perhaps I have to read it again because I wasn't in the right mood. But that is Shirley Jackson's The Haunting of Hill House, a classic horror novel that's beloved by many readers, not by me at this stage. I just perhaps went in there feeling that I was expecting something different, but I will give it another read at some stage. And secondly, there's Terry Pratchett. The Colour of Magic. I just don't get Terry Pratchett, I'm sorry. I know that a lot of fantasy fans really enjoy his work, and he's often compared to Douglas Adams, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and I just don't see the comparison. I absolutely love the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. The Color of Magic just fell flat. I didn't see the humor, and yeah, basically I haven't read anything else by him since then. If you say otherwise, that I should try something different, then I'm open to suggestions, but Terry Pratchett is a real letdown for me. Prompt 5, the next prompt is, your time is going to come. Name a book that's been on your TBR for more than a year. Now, there are so many titles that have been on my TBR for a long time, and that is because I've never been able to get hold of them here in South Africa. We're talking about maybe more extreme horror titles. I know that Joe R. Lansdale, The Drive-In, that was one that I've been dying to get hold of. But thankfully now that I've got a what do you call it? Not a book, a Kindle. Thankfully now I've got a Kindle, I can have access to these titles. So I should be able to read them someday soon. Prompt number 6 is Black Mountainside. Name a book with an unusual or unconventional setting. Unconventional setting. Now, there's two authors that come to mind. First of all, Clive Barker, WeWorld, where it takes place in this magical carpet, where there's this little world carved out in this magical carpet. But I'm going to go with Neil Gaiman here. He writes a very, very interesting book where there is this magical, fantastical world underneath London, and that is Neverwhere. I can't think of anything more unconventional than that. Can you? Prompt number 7 is Communication Breakdown. Name a book you buddy read with someone with whom you completely disagreed about the book. Now, I've not really done any buddy reads online, but I have read a lot of books with my wife, Stephen King books, and one book we totally disagree on is Doomakey, which I've just read recently. She really loved the book. I think I gave it 2 or 3 stars. Yeah, it was a bit of a disappointing book for me. So yeah, that's Doomakey. Prompt number 8 is I Can't Quit You Baby. Name an auto-buy author. Now, I presume what that means is that you see the author of the book and you just buy it. Now, there's 3 authors come to mind: Robert McCammon, Clive Barker, and of course Stephen King. The thing is that I'm not going to just automatically buy the book if it is too expensive. I shop in my little second-hand shop, and I would rather find it at half price there, or a quarter price, or wait till a bigger book like maybe a fairy tale that's just come out. I'll wait till that comes on special on Kindle before I buy that. But he is my favourite author, but I just can't afford to just go out and buy a brand new Stephen King book. Not at this stage, no. Okay everyone, and the final prompt number 9 is how many more times? And name a book or series you keep coming back to even after you DNF'd it. Now, as I said, I've just recently read Doomakey. Even though I had DNF'd it before, I did complete it. Another series that comes to mind, and you might be surprised by this one, and that is Game of Thrones by George R. R. Martin. I absolutely love the miniseries. I did start reading the book when I was younger, but excuse the dogs barking over there, but I had to stop reading it because I was studying at the time, and I probably would have failed my exams if I had carried on as I was then. So that is Game of Thrones by George R. R. Martin. There are a couple of others that I wouldn't mind trying again, like The Passage by Justin Cronin. I know it's a post-apocalyptic tale, but from what I remember of it, the first half was awesome, or the first third or something, and then something just happened that turned me off completely. And I've seen that's happened to other readers as well. But that is something that is intriguing. I think it's a vampire apocalyptic novel of some sort, so I might give that another go as well. Okay, and what is now the norm is to tag some people. The only person I know that I think loves Led Zeppelin is Holly from Crooks Books, and I really just say if you enjoyed this tag, I'll tag you. It's my favourite band, or my second favourite band. I really enjoyed doing these prompts, and let me know what you think in the comments below. And please be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. In the meantime, keep those pages turning. Take care. Cheers.